Hey VC, it's Travis once again, back with another video response, this time for MeanMrMayo 100 subs contest. Just recently stumbled across your channel, just started seeing some other responses roll in for your contest here, and I'm actually kind of surprised I didn't find your channel a little sooner, but I checked it out. I really like your videos. I dig your delivery and how you talk about your records and what you show. So I'm really looking forward to catching up with you and following you along this vinyl journey. So congratulations on the 100 subs. Just great stuff. So let's get right into this contest here. What he wanted us to do is to show our top 5 Beatles / solo albums, and I just want it to be known that I found this incredibly difficult to do because I'm a huge Beatles fan, and trying to rank these was extremely hard. So what I decided to do is I would show my top 5 Beatles albums and then show my top 5 solo Beatles albums, and I hope that's okay. But there was just no way I could fit it down into 5, and just be happy with my response. But I put something together here. I think I'm overall pretty happy with it. This is all subject to change. You ask me in a year from now, and I would probably come up with a totally different response. I just want everyone to know this is just my opinion, and I just love the Beatles, and I think all their albums are great. So. Again, so let's get right into this though. At number 5, I'm going to start with the Beatles. Number 5, I put Abbey Road. Now this will probably show up in a lot of responses, I'm sure. This might even be like a number 1 pick for some people, and that's the thing about these Beatles albums. It's all subjective, and it's going to be a different response for everyone, I think. And all this kind of comes down to personal taste and everything, too. But as their last album recorded, they went out with a bang on this album, and it's just a solid album all the way through. You really cannot go wrong with this album, and for a lot of people this is probably their first Beatles album too, like especially for some of these, younger generation, people here. Abbey Road, a fantastic place to start, it was a fantastic way to finish off the Beatles' career there. Well, in recorded sense anyway. Next one, number 4, I put Help. Now this is the UK track listing on here and everything, not the American one. So, I think anyone that follows my my channel a little bit here knows that I kind of have sentimental value towards the early Beatles. I pretty much grew up with the Beatles' Red Album, 62 to 66. That's another thing. I left out all compilations here. I just wanted to stick with the studio albums and stuff. But growing up with the early Beatles and stuff, that's just, has a really, embedded in me. And so I think this one kind of represents that really well. And also really like the Help movie as well, and I think the tracks on here along with the movie kind of just really resonated with me. So we got Help, you've got to Hide Your Love Away, which is probably one of my top 10 Beatles songs. You're Gonna Lose That Girl, Ticket to Ride, another one of my favorites. I've Just Seen a Face yesterday. This is a really solid album as well. All of them are solid. I can say that for every single one of these, but yeah, this is just one that, just like the poppy songs, and I think this is some of their best songwriting on here as far as like the early stuff goes. So that was Help. Now, number 3, I put Revolver. Now this is the American version, or North American I should say maybe, and I also have the UK release on a CD. Plan on picking up the remastered Revolver soon here to get the original UK track listing. But there's only a few songs on here that I remember listening to as a kid. Eleanor Rigby and Yellow Submarine were both on the Red Album. But it wasn't until I became a teenager that I started getting into like the later era Beatles, from 67 on, and including a lot of songs off of here, which weren't on those early compilations. But I remember hearing Taxman for the first time and just thinking that was just completely different from everything I knew about the Beatles, and just amazing. So one thing I like about this record is just, you know, that they're branching out from their sound, you know, being more experimental, and they do it really, really well. You know, Tomorrow Never Knows, I mean, you just listen to that song and blow your mind, you know. So number 3, Revolver. And then number 2, this one will probably show up in a few videos as well. You know, White Album. This is my original copy here on Apple with the serial number and everything. Pretty dirty sleeve overall, but yeah, I mean, this is a, you know, a double album, just a whole, them going all out on here. I mean, there's just so many different kinds of sounds and everything on here, and some of the heavier Beatles songs that, again, once I heard them, I just totally blew my mind. I mean, can you imagine me hearing things like Can't Buy Me Love and then going and hearing Helter Skelter? I mean, hell yeah. I mean, it's just a great album all around. I will say that there is probably some filler on here, you know, kind of like the avant-garde stuff that John was working on, like Revolution 9 and stuff. You know, I could probably skip over those, but overall though, just a solid album. It's fantastic. So I would recommend that for anyone too. I mean, I recommend all these. I mean, it's tough. I forget I'm talking about the Beatles here, you know. I mean, I can recommend any of these for anyone, you know, any Beatles fan, or anyone that's interested in the Beatles anyway. And for number 1, again, kind of going back to my sentimental feelings towards the early Beatles, I think this kind of really captures that too, and I put Rubber Soul as number 1. Now this again is the North American release. Looking to get the remastered with the UK track listing as well on here. I do have the CD though, and I do like the UK version better than the North American one anyway. But you know, like on here, it's like I've Just Seen a Face is also on this album, you know, as the North American release, whereas it's on the Help album normally. But you know, as far as like the UK track listing, like Drive My Car, Norwegian Wood, I mean, that song too is just easily one of my favorites. You Won't See Me, Nowhere Man, Think For Yourself, The Word, Michelle, What Goes On, Girl, I'm Looking Through You, In My Life. Now, see, now that one, like as an early Beatles song that I heard on the Red album, was one that really, really stuck with me. You know, Wait, If I Needed Someone, and Run For Your Life. I mean, it's just again, they were really heavily influenced on what was going on at the time with like Bob Dylan and stuff, and so you know, I think that they kind of pumped up their songwriting a little bit on this one and really wrote some really great songs. So yep, I would put Rubber Soul at number 1 for Beatles right now. Alright, on to the solo albums here. I'll kind of go through these a little quickly just because I mean, these are all such classics, and I just don't really have a whole lot to say about them today, so let's go through them. Number 5, I put Paul McCartney, Linda McCartney, Ram. I actually just listened to this yesterday and just reminded me about how great it was. I mean, it's just a stellar album. Number 4, I put Paul McCartney, Wings, Band on the Run. Now, I think it was last year, or maybe the year before, I listened to this album like every single day. Like, it was borderline ridiculous, but it's just such a great album. So many great songs on here. You know, Band on the Run, you know, the title track, Jet, Bluebird, Let Me Roll It. I mean, just great stuff. Number 3, now this was kind of tough here. This is where it got tough. Put John Lennon, Plastic Ono Band at number 3. I mean, this is one of John's best. I mean, it's such a great album. I mean, like I said, I don't have really much a whole lot to say about this stuff, but you know, just raw, just emotional rawness, and you know, just coming in a second here, close second, George Harrison, All Things Must Pass. You know, for a triple album like this, I mean, this is easily listenable. You know, it's just I mean, surprisingly, because some triple albums are really hard to get through, but this one, not so much. I mean, this one is just great. So, yeah, you know, I actually really happy I have this too. I mean, I got this for really cheap, by the way. I mean, I think I got this for like 10 or 11 bucks or something like that at a record store too, you know, where they could have just marked it up to like 30 and it probably would have sold or something. But yeah, just and it's in great shape too. The box and everything is in really nice shape. Anyway, that's just a little side note there, but all things must pass. And number one, I put John Lennon, Imagine. And now this might be kind of like cliche, you know, Imagine and stuff. And that's not even my favorite song on here at all, you know, but I just think that, I mean, I just like the songs on here better than the Plastic Ono Band. I mean, that's just my opinion, though. I just like kind of the more upbeat songs and stuff. But I think that pretty much wraps it up. You know, John Lennon. All right, so that pretty much wraps it up. Just wanted to kind of throw together a little thing for Mean Mr. Mayo there, and I hope you enjoyed it. I hope no one's offended by my choices. But I hope everyone has a great day, and thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Peace.